26, 1967, I was at this base. It was called Jiolin. It was Cantien and Jiolin. They were the two furthest northern bases in Vietnam. Khe Sanh was part of that chain. It was Cantien, Jiolin, and then Khe Sanh was like over here. Well, we had been building up. We had been operating the Cantien, and it was so hot and so. People talk about mosquitoes in Alaska. Well, mosquitoes in Vietnam are deadly. I mean, there were so many of them that sometimes you couldn't sleep. In the movie Platoon, Charlie Sheen has a towel over his face and he's holding it like this and he's dusting them away and he's looking out. Well, that was something that you did. You know, they captured it. Oliver Stone captured a lot of those feelings and situations that were going on. Well, that morning, the word was started to be passed around, and we already knew something was coming because of the buildup of troops that were coming into Cantien and Jiolin, and the word was passed that we were going to be going out on this operation. They named it Operation Kingfisher, and so we were getting all our gear together, our weapons, everything that we needed to do, and we were up on this high knoll, and the DMZ was this zone that they had come in with bulldozers and Agent Orange, and that sprayed and killed all of the vegetation, and then they bulldozed this strip that went all the way to the ocean and then came back through all the way up to the Ho Chi Minh Trail, almost where they were coming in from. They were infiltrating in from the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Well, we had heard that there was a massive buildup on the other side of the river. It's called the Ben Hai River, and it separates North and South Vietnam. Well, the word was passed that they were building up on that other side, and that we were going to go in there as, and the word was given to us that it was only a quick operation, that we were going to be going in there, and if we hit any resistance, that they would pull us out immediately, and that then they would bring in the B-52 bombers and the artillery and all this, the jets, and take care of it that way. It was like we were bait, and we were trying to draw them out to come out so that we could annihilate them. Well, you could see on the faces of the guys who had been there a while that they were really concerned about it. And I overheard people talking about it. Man, I don't know if we're going to get out of there. They called it Indian territory, referred to it as Indian territory. They said, man, they're out there, brothers, And so we packed everything up. We took light rations, like I said before. A lot of times the guys who had been there a while, you didn't carry a bunch of food and stuff. You carried peanut butter and jelly, just a few of your favorite cans that you might want to take along with you. Well, because we were told it was going to be a short operation, we were going to go in, and as soon as we were done, there was going to be trucks waiting for us to move us back to the rear for a little bit of R&R to get out of the bush, because we had been in the bush all for the longest time, how long? For a couple of months, we had been in the bush. Every once in a while, we'd come back just a little bit, but we hadn't went back to an area where they call a stand-down area, where you go back there and you get resupplies, and your utilities, your jungle utilities, would literally rot off you because of the heat and the humidity and everything, and it was like, we called ourselves Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. Because we were like orphans. the Marine Corps, hey man, we're tough. You guys don't need all that stuff. You guys are tough. Well, but like I said, first time I saw these guys who were coming out of the bush, man, you can't believe what they look like and the way their eyes look at you. I mean, it's like, oh my God, what have these guys been through? Well, now we're getting ready to, by this time, that's who I was. My clothes were tattered. I mean, I had this wild look. I knew now what I was up against. I now knew what this was really about. And it was no joke. This is not a joke, man. So as we prepared, we got all our equipment ready and everything, and then they held us up until that evening, just before sunset, because they wanted us to sneak out of the compound on them. Well, here we are with 100 pounds of gear on us, with machine gun ammo, with our ammo, with grenades, with food, with sometimes rocket rounds and mortar rounds. I mean, it's unbelievable how much gear we were carrying. There was a book called The Things We Carried, and it talked about those things. But the moment you got up, stood up, that stuff said clang, because the flak jackets that you wore were made of, they're not like the new ones that are woven. They're more like a piece of steel or armament that was inside these jackets. And so as soon as you stood up, everything hit that jacket, said ka-clang, and then as you walked, it would go ka-clang, 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 and it sounded like a herd of salesmen walking down these trails. Junk salesmen.